world who you are? Do you have a clear, defined line on who you are? Do your closest friends and family members know what you would not do, generally speaking? I think it should be clear. It's called an identity. And do you have one? You should. Identity says who you are. Identity tells the world what you will and will not do. Identity gives the world a picture of what you value. Identity speaks to your character. So how do you know who you are? How do you show that to the world? You know who you are by what you will and will not do. You show that to the world through your habits. How are you interacting with people on a day-to-day basis? How are you showing up for your responsibilities and commitments? Are you being flaky? Are you showing up early? Are you showing up on time? Or showing up late? How are you participating with the people in your community? Can they count on you? Are you contributing to them? Are you sharing useful information? How are you working towards being a better person every day? Are you studying? Are you a reader? Are you going to therapy? Are you a part of a mastermind where you're brainstorming ideas to help you reach your goal and implementing plans? All of that speaks to your identity. And identity is so important because, like I said, identity is who you are. It paints the picture, it tells the story. Identity is who, what, when, where, why, how of you. So it paints the entire picture. How do you create an identity if you don't already have one? And this is something that I'm going through myself currently. I've been on this journey for since 2022. So I'm about almost 2 years into this journey, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. It's been an adventure, a little bit of a bumpy ride sometimes, but I'm at the helm, so I'm in control. So I'm liking where it's going because I'm knowing where I want to go. Starting in 2022, I realized that my life didn't look like how I wanted it to look like. There were some things that I desired that just weren't coming to fruition for me, and that was a problem for me. And so I realized that I can't keep doing the same things and expecting a different result. I have to change my behavior. So I started studying and reading more books and following people on TikTok and Twitter. Matter of fact, I just started TikTok about 2 years ago. That's when I first got on TikTok. I said I didn't want to do it because I heard all the news stories about how it was addictive for the kids and all this and all that. And I'm like, I don't want to get involved with that. But, one of my good friends convinced me to do it. So I opened a TikTok and I found that I was learning so much on TikTok, about life, about history, about different subjects. And I kind of leaned into that. I became really excited about being on this new path on my journey to creating a clear identity for myself. And TikTok was a huge part of that, and I was so excited. So I started following women that had the lifestyle that I wanted. I started following women that had already achieved certain goals that I had on my vision board and certain goals that I write about in my journal. so much in my journey to know that, like, wow, I'm not the only one going through these dilemmas, and I'm not the only one having these thoughts. It made me feel like I really wasn't alone anymore. So I really appreciated that. But the biggest thing that, you know, watching these TikToks and being on YouTube brought up for me was like the lifestyle. I wanted to be living a certain lifestyle, and I was like doing the things that I wanted to do, but it wasn't a lifestyle. Your lifestyle is the way that you live on an everyday basis. Like, it's just comes naturally to you, like it's a part of your life. Like I said, I was doing the things that I wanted to do, but it wasn't a part of my lifestyle. And I wanted a certain type of lifestyle. I wanted this thing to be like an everyday thing. Just as an example, like I would go to nice events. I love going to events. I love going to galas. I love going to auctions. I like going to balls. Like, that's what I like to do. I love dressing up and I like dancing. It's a great time, and you're meeting people, and it's a really fun time. So those were things that I was doing, but I was doing them without a purpose. I was doing them sort of in a sporadic manner. Whenever I had the time, or whenever I had the funds in my budget to do it, I would do it. And for me, that wasn't good enough. That was cause enough for a change. And, you know, as I was watching these content creators, they were telling how they got more into these things and kind of how they went about it. And I really appreciate that from them. But what they taught me is that in order to have a lifestyle, the whole picture has to fit in the frame. So when you're talking about identity, the first and the main component of identity is lifestyle. But there are a few components that make up your lifestyle. Those components being your style, your career, your friends, your hobbies, and your location. All of those things make up your lifestyle, which will define your identity. So, as I'm thinking about, you know, these things and how I can really construct them to kind of get me to the end goal to where I want to be, I thought a lot about my career. Mainly because you have to be able to fund the lifestyle that you want. So I thought back, okay, my career. What career would allow me to go to all of these different events on a regular basis, to be a well-known socialite, and to be out shaking hands and be a part of different charity events or get involved with philanthropy? What would I have to do to be a part of that? Like, what career supports that? So I went through different careers in the year of 2022. So I was already on my way. Dogs barking distracted me. So I was already on my way to a specific career path in 2022. I'm still on that same career path. I'm not going to change my career because that career does support the lifestyle that I want to live and the lifestyle that I like to live. But I realized that I had to be more serious about it. I was kind of pursuing goals in a lackluster manner and not really being too serious about it. Like, it's fairly easy for me to like get a job. I've started a bunch of never really took any of them really seriously. Like, I've never really dedicated real time to developing more skills and cultivating my craft in said hobbies or arts. So when I came to myself in 2022 and I'm like, okay, what are you going to do about this? How are you going to change your trajectory? And I came up with the big idea, the attitude. I think the key to life, to everything in life, is attitude. And who, what, when, where, what, how, all those things, I think that is the key to open any door you want to open. No matter which door, you have to have the right attitude and you have to have the answer to those 6 questions. And I had to really look within myself and question my thoughts and my beliefs. And for the last 2 years, I've really been, I don't want to say battling because it hasn't been a battle, but it has been a journey in evaluating, what do I believe? How do I live my life? Does my life reflect what I believe? So it's been really eye-opening to answer those questions for myself. And I'm not going to go into the answers that I came up with, but in some areas of my life, like, things weren't aligning and matching up. Like, my beliefs weren't matching up with the way that I was living my life. So I had to make a change. I had to change my attitude too, because my attitude wasn't matching my beliefs either. And that was a problem for me. And I find that in life, when you're aligned, things go smoothly. When you were divided, it's gonna be a rocky road. So I had to change up my attitude, and it took some time. Like, I read a lot of books, and as everyone knows, I am an advocate for therapy. I believe therapy works. I believe that everyone should go to therapy. So that helped me a lot, and my therapist helped me brainstorm a lot. And when it wasn't my therapist, there were my friends that listened to me and talked out certain issues with me and helped me process certain information that I was having a hard time processing. So shout out to you. Thank you. You know who you are. So I didn't really change my career path. I'm gonna stay there. But when it came to style, my style is kind of staying the same too, because I dress in a way where I can really go anywhere, anytime, and still kind of fit in. I have that type of style. I don't know what you would call it, but I think I'm a little bit sophisticated when it comes to style. Most of what I wear is very versatile. So I don't really need to change my style. I think I'm good on that. My style matched up with my career, matched up with what I aspired to be, matched up with what I thought I was and what I want to be and what I'm working toward. So I don't need to change that. Friends. I've been going through some changes with friendship. Again, I had to stop hanging out with people that didn't align with my future. I had to stop hanging out with people that didn't have mutual interests or goals. I had to get all that out of my life, and I kind of took care of that, or it took care of itself, I should say. During the pandemic, people just kind of fell away that didn't belong, and we never reconnected, and I'm not going to allow them to reconnect, because that's a bygone era for me. person, in order to be an interesting person, you have to have hobbies because you have to have something to talk about. You have to have something to contribute to the conversation, you know? So I've picked up a few new hobbies, some more interesting than the last, and it not only has been helping me develop a better personality, but it's also helped me cultivate skills. You know, having to be in environments where you have to hold conversations with strangers and having to teach others how to do things and having to even display your work and talk about your work. It has been such an exciting journey doing those things. So that's helping me grow as a person. It's helping me grow and become better at public speaking. It's also giving me more skills to use just at home, for myself, for my family. One of my hobbies is candle making. So candles are very useful. They can be decorative. They can be used as aromatics. They can be used for lighting. So there are a lot of different uses that I can provide to myself, to my friends, to my family, and my community by being a candle maker. That is wonderful in my eyes. I'm getting to expand my skill set, be more useful to others, while also becoming a better person. That's what hobbies do for your life. That's why you need to have hobbies, to accomplish all of those things. Well, to help you accomplish all of those things on your journey to being your best self. Location. Location matters a lot. Like people, I don't know what people think about location, but I had to change my location. Where was I? Prior to the pandemic, I wasn't so intentional about my location. After the pandemic, I was extremely intentional about my location. I am always intentional about my location. Everywhere I go, every time I go out, I am always purposefully placing myself in very specific environments at specific times of the day. Okay? Because I found that things happen in certain places. I don't know if there are any Hamilton fans out there, but you want to be in the room where it happens, okay? That's where you want to be. And I realized in 2022, I wasn't in the room where the action was happening. And because of that, I was missing out, okay? Because of that, I was losing chances to grab opportunities, okay? I don't want to do that anymore. If I want to get to where I'm going, I realized that I had to change my habits, and location was one of those things that was like major for me. And with me changing my location, so much has changed in 2 years. So much. Like, I'm gonna get into it. You just tune in and see. Like, I'm gonna get into all the things about my life that have changed based on my location alone. Okay? That's it. So I only go to places of high value. And let me explain why. Because these places have a certain air to them. They have a certain feel. Not only that, what is required of you to be in these spaces and places is you need to be following protocol and procedure. Okay? One thing I really admire about Japan and Japanese people is their culture. Okay? They have the environment. You have to have manners, and you have to just respect the space. Every space doesn't require that. And that's how I treat myself. That's how I desire to be treated. So I put myself in these environments that honor that. And that has changed my life tenfold. I no longer have to try to argue with people about what they are doing and them not understanding that it's inappropriate or unacceptable. In these environments, everyone understands what behavior is and is not acceptable, or they wouldn't be allowed in the area. Everyone understands what is appropriate and what is required of you, and they bring that to the environment to not only to contribute to the environment, but to reap the benefits of the environment. And I appreciate that. So that has changed my life tenfold. And again, with location, hobbies, friends, style, and career, you get your lifestyle. And with your lifestyle, you get your identity. And that's how you become who you want to be. For me, I would definitely say that I am who I want to be today. 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I wasn't the person that I wanted to be. Fully. Some of the things, like I was almost there, but I wasn't quite there yet. Like there were some things missing. And now I know the components in life that it takes to be who you say you want to be. Like all of those things have to align. And now that I've properly aligned myself in a straight line, now I can say that I am the person that I want to be, that I am the person that I say I am, and that my life aligns with my beliefs. And I'm proud of that. And you should be proud of who you become. You should be proud of who you are, because you're in control of that.